Good morning. Hello, students. How are you? I hope you're fine and you people are studying from the video which we are sending to you. And mostly, I think many of you are also in the online classes. So, students, I've already taught part 1 of the second lesson of Beehive. What was part 1? Evelyn Glennie. Now this is the second part, the Shehnai of Bismillah Khan. So I told you first of all what is the meaning of Shehnai. You can see here Bismillah Khan. He is playing Shehnai. It's a musical instrument, and you can see Shehnai here. This is Shehnai and this is Pungi. Okay, so because when in the starting of the chapter, in the initial part of the lesson, you will be coming through this word Pungai, this one. So you can see, okay, so this is Pungai, and you can see the difference between Shehnai and Pungai. Earlier Shehnai was not in use. It was Pungai which the people used to play. So now let's read about it. So I told you it was Emperor Aurangzeb banned the playing of musical instrument called Pungai in the royal residence because it had shrill and unpleasant sound. Now Pungai became the generic name for the reeded noisemaker, and that Pungai, at first the sound of the Pungai was very shrill, very unpleasant to hear, but then with the passing of the time, okay, that Pungai it was revived. One day people had revived it, and a barber of a family of professional musician who had access to the royal palace. Access means he reached to the royal palace, and he decided to improve the tonal quality of the Pungai. Tonal means the musical quality of the Pungai. He chose a pipe with a natural hollow stem that was longer and broader than Pungai, and 7 holes on the body of the pipe. When he played, closing and opening some of these holes, soft and melodious sounds were produced. This instrument later came to be known as Shehnai. Now in the lesson I will also tell you why this musical instrument Shehnai got its name as Shehnai. And then later on in India it was Bismillah Khan, who, as you can see, he was one of the most popular Shehnai player, and he was honored with Bharat Ratna. One of the best player of Shehnai. People now he is no more, but people still remember him. So now I will start explaining the lesson. Emperor Aurangzeb banned the playing of a musical instrument called Pungai. Banned means he stopped. He did not allow. So Emperor Aurangzeb, he did not allow to play the musical instrument. The royal residence means where he used to live, where the royal people used to live, that means in his palace. That Pungai was banned completely by Emperor Aurangzeb. Why? Because he did not like the sound of Pungai. It was shrill and it had an unpleasant noise. So it had a shrill and unpleasant sound. Pungai became the generic name for reeded noisemaker. Now you can see the meaning of generic name. A name given to a class or a group as a whole. Now, Pungai was a name given to a reeded noisemaker. Reeded means wind instrument which have reed like the flute, the clarinet. Okay, that means There are many instruments with the help of the reed it is made and it had hole, and people play it like bansuri, then pungai, okay, clarinet, etc. So these are the reeded musical instrument. Few had thought that it would one day be revived. So revive means it will take a new form. Revive means it will take a new form. So nobody thought that this pungai, which was banned by Emperor Aurangzeb, it will be revived. That means it will take a new form of life. A barber of a family of professional musicians. Now children, a barber was there, but his whole family was in the profession of music, who had access to the royal palace. Now access means he had reached to the royal palace. He decided to improve the tonal quality of the pungai. Tonal means musical quality of the pungai. He chose a pipe with a natural hollow stem that was longer and broader than the pungai. Now he chose what? He chose a pipe with a natural hollow stem. With a natural stem that was longer and broader than the pungai, and made 7 holes on the body produced. And once again you can see pungai and shehnai here. So he played the instrument before royalty and everyone was impressed. Now children, that musical instrument which he had made from the natural stem with a 7 hole, he played that instrument, and this time everybody was impressed by the sweet music, melodious music which it has produced. The instrument, so different from the pungai, had to be given a new name. As the story goes, since it was first played in the Shah's chamber and was played by a nai, that is barber, the instrument was named the shehnai. Now children, you can see why this instrument was known as shehnai, how shehnai got its name. So I told you a barber was there, but his profession was music. The whole family profession was music, and it was he from the natural hollow stem. He had made 7 holes, and he started just like a flute. He started playing it, and this time everybody was impressed because a very nice melodious voice was heard from it. And since it was played in the Shah chamber, now children, at that time only it was a king, it was the Mughal emperor. At that time they were in power. And who was in power at that time? Aurangzeb. Yes, without his permission he could not play. So he took that shehnai to the Shah chambers. That means where Shah used to sit and take meeting, and it was played by a nai. Nai means barber. That barber who had made that shehnai, he played in front of Aurangzeb, and since it was played first time by a nai in the chamber of Shah, so that was the name. That's why the name shehnai is kept. The sound of shehnai began to be considered auspicious. Auspicious, you can see, promising to bring good fortune. Now children, in all the auspicious occasion, okay, this instrument shehnai is begin to be considered auspicious. Okay, like during the time of wedding, when there was some festival, people used to call shehnai wala and they used to play shehnai. And for this reason it is still played in temples, and it is an indispensable component. So in the beginning, shehnai was used to played in the temples and is an indispensable component of any North Indian wedding. That means without this musical instrument, no wedding would have considered good. If people used to play Pilnai, any wedding, it used to start with the playing of the Shehnai, because people used to consider it as auspicious. That means that music will promise to bring good fortune to the bride and bridegroom. In the past, the Shehnai was part of the Naubat or traditional ensemble of 9 instruments found at Royal Court. Till recently, it was used only in temples and weddings. The credit for bringing this instrument onto the classical stage goes to Bismillah Khan. Now, children, here we are coming to the most famous person. As you can see, Ustad Bismillah Khan. So earlier, children, it was part of the Naubat or traditional ensemble. Ensemble is a things which is considered as a group. Okay, and this used to be played with the instrument at the royal courts. Now, and then recently it was used only in temples and weddings. But the credit for bringing this instrument onto the classical stage goes to Ustad Bismillah Khan. Now, children, this since its sound was considered as auspicious, okay, so it was used to play only in the temples and during the time of wedding. But it was Ustad Bismillah Khan who took him to the classical stage. As a 5-year-old, Bismillah Khan played Gilli Danda near a pond in the ancient state of Dumrao. Now from here we will talk about the early life of Bismillah Khan. About the life of Bismillah Khan. Till now we have read that how Shehnai was brought by a Nai and how its name was kept as Shehnai. And then we also told you that the Shehnai was played only during the time of wedding or in temples. But for the first time it was Ustad Bismillah Khan. He was a person who brought Shehnai to the classical stage. Otherwise it was only used to be played inside the temples and during the time of wedding. So he played the instrument before royalty. The sound of Shehnai began to be considered auspicious, and for this reason it is still played in temples and is an indispensable component of any North Indian wedding. In the past, the Shehnai was part of the Naubat or traditional ensemble of 9 instruments found at royal courts. Till recently, it was used only in temples and weddings. The credit for bringing these instruments onto the classical stage goes to Ustad Bismillah Khan. So it was Ustad Bismillah Khan who brought this Shehnai to the stage. You can see here. Now we will tell you about the early life of Bismillah Khan. As a 5-year-old, Bismillah Khan played Gilli Danda near a pond in the ancient state of Dumrao in Bihar. Now when he was 5-year-old, he was never playing Shehnai or any other musical instrument. He used to play Gilli Danda near a pond in the ancient state of Dumrao. And Dumrao is in Bihar. He would regularly go to the nearby Bihariji's temple to sing the Bhojpuri Chaitya. Now a temple was there, and that temple was known by the name of Bihariji temple. So he used to go there to sing the Bhojpuris. And what he used to sing? Chaita. At the end of which he would earn a big laddu weighing 1.25 kg. Now children, when he used to sing, when all the function used to finish, he used to get one laddu which was weighing 1 kilo and 25, yes, 1.25 kg. And this was a prize given by the local Maharaja. This was given to him by the local Maharaja. This happened 80 years ago, and the little boy has traveled for to earn the highest civilian award in India, the Bharat Ratna. Okay. Now this incident when he was playing Gulli Danda, he was 5 years old, and now dad boy he got the highest civilian award in India, the Bharat Ratna. And who was this boy? Ustad Bismillah Khan. That means that 5-year-old boy who used to play Gulli Danda, now he is getting the highest civilian award in India. And which award he got? The Bharat Ratna, because he was the best Shehnai player. Now we will come to know about his life. Born on 21st March 1916, Bismillah belonged to a well-known family of musicians from Bihar. His grandfather, Rasool Baks Khan, was a Shehnai Nawaz of the Bhojpur King Court. Now he was born when? 21st March 1916. Bismillah belonged to a well-known family of musicians. Even his whole family, they were musicians from Bihar. And you can see the name of his grandfather is also written in the last. Okay, you can see his grandfather, Rasool Baks Khan, was a Shehnai Nawaz of the Bhojpur King's Court. Now he was also used to play Shehnai. His grandfather, Rasool Baks Khan, but where he used to play? In the Bhojpur King Court. His father, Paigambar Box. His father, Paigambar Box, and other paternal ancestors were also great Shehnai players. Now, his father and some of the uncle, they were also what? They were from paternal side. Paternal means from the side of the father, and maternal means from the side of mother. So other paternal ancestors were also great Shehnai players. Now this the boy told that all his paternal relatives, they were also a Shehnai player. The young boy took to music early in life. Now when he started like music in his early life only. At the age of 3, when his mother took him to his maternal uncle house in Benares. Now you can see that how Bismillah Khan here in this paragraph, you will read how Bismillah Khan, he was settled in Varanasi, in Benares. So at the age of 3, when he was only 3 years old, when his mother took him to his maternal uncle house. Now children, paternal is related with father, and maternal here it is related with mother. So maternal related with mother and paternal related with father. So his mother, she took him to maternal uncle house. Maternal means on the side of the mother. So it was in Benares. Now Varanasi. Bismillah was fascinated watching his uncle practice the Shehnai. Now when he went to his uncle's house, he was surprised that in a nice manner his uncle was practicing Shehnai. Soon Bismillah started accompanying his uncle Ali Box to the Vishnu temple of Benares, where Box was employed to play the Shehnai. Now as I told you, Shehnai was played in all the auspicious occasion on when there was something very important. So he was called, his uncle was called Ali Box, and where he was called to the Vishnu temple of Varanasi, where Box was employed to play the Shehnai. That means he was forced to play in fact he was not forced, he wanted to play Shehnai there. Ali Box would play the Shehnai, and Bismillah would sit captivated for hours on end. His whole Bismillah Khan body, he was a child, and his whole body and mind was captivated. That means He was engrossed in music so much that he forgot other things. Soon Bismillah started accompanied his uncle Ali Bakhsh to the Vishnu temple of Benares, where Bakhsh was employed to play the Shehnai. Ali Bakhsh would play the Shehnai and Bismillah would sit captivated for hours on end. So at the end, Ali Bakhsh to the Vishnu temple, his uncle used to go to the Vishnu temple and he would sit captivated for hours on end. Slowly he started getting lessons in playing the instrument and would sit practicing throughout the day. Now children, when his uncle saw him that he is very much interested in playing the instrument, he told the child to practice that instrument. Now children, it was his will to learn the instrument Shehnai that he used to practice whole day. Throughout the day he used to sit and practice. For years to come, the temple of Balaji and Mangla Maiya and the banks of the Ganga became the young apprentice's favorite haunts. Now children, for practicing, sometime he used to go to the temple of Mangla Devi, which is there in Varanasi, and sometime he used to sit on the bank of river Ganga, okay, for hours. Throughout the day he used to practice. So, and sometime he used to go to the temple of Balaji, Mangla Maiya and the banks of Ganga. It became the young apprentice's favorite haunts where he could practice in solitude. Solitude means loneliness. So, apprentice means a person under training. So he was getting training, but he used to practice it where? He used to practice it in the temple of Balaji and Mangla Maiya and the banks of river Ganga. You can see it here. So these were the favorite places. Whenever, in fact, whole day he used to come and practice. The flowing water of the Ganga inspired him to improve and invent ragas that were earlier considered to be beyond the range of Shehnai. Children, maybe it was the blessing of Ganga, okay, or whatever, or maybe he was practicing a lot throughout the day, whole day he used to practice, okay, but it was he felt the flowing water of the Ganga inspired him to improvise and invent ragas that were earlier considered to be beyond the range of the Shehnai. He felt that he got the motivation from river Ganga. Improvise means to give at the moment. To give at the moment. So, he was at that moment, at that time, he was inspired from Ganga. The flowing waters of Ganga inspired him and invent ragas that were earlier considered to be beyond the range of the Shehnai. At the age of 14, Bismillah accompanied his uncle to the Allahabad music conference. At the end of his recital, Ustad Fayyaz Khan patted the young boy's back and said, "Work hard and you shall make it." Now, children, when he was only 14 years of age, Ustad Bismillah Khan once accompanied means he went with his uncle to Allahabad music conference. So where he went? He went to the musical conference which was held at Allahabad. At the end of the recital, Ustad Fayaz Khan patted. Now children, when the musical conference was over and even Bismillah got a chance to play music for some time. So at the end, a very great person, a very great Shehnai player, Ustad Fayaz Khan patted the young boy's back and said, "Work hard and you shall make it." That means he gave his blessing that keep on practicing, start working like this only, and one day you will make it. With the opening of the All India Radio in Lucknow in 1938 came Bismillah's big break. Now, By the God grace also he was given a big break when All India Radio in 1938 in Lucknow, when it was the opening ceremony of All India Radio. It was people requested Bismillah Khan to play his Shehnai, because I told you that the voice of the Shehnai is used to considered auspicious. So the first time that our All India Radio was going to start, and in 1938 in Lucknow, Bismillah was told to play the Shehnai. He soon became an often heard Shehnai player on radio. That means very soon, very often he used to come on radio and people used to hear his voice. He soon became an often heard Shehnai player on radio. When India gained independence on 15 August 1947 from here, Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to greet the nation with his Shehnai. Now children, not only that, again this is an honor, this is a feather in his cap, that when we got our independence on 15 August 1947, Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to greet the nation with his Shehnai. He poured his heart out into Rag Kafi from the Red Fort to an audience which included Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who later gave his famous Trust with Destiny speech. Bismillah Khan has given many memorable performances both in India and abroad. His first trip abroad was to Afghanistan, and where King Zabir Shah was taken in by the maestro that he gifted him priceless Persian carpets. Now children, he was called Bismillah Khan, he has given many memorable performance. Now not only in India, he went to the world also, to the international stage also, to give his performance. His first trip abroad was to Afghanistan. Now children, first foreign trip was Afghanistan, where King Zahir Shah was so taken in by the maestro that he gifted him priceless Persian carpet. Now there Bismillah Khan played his music, and King Zahir Shah, he was so impressed by the maestro that he gifted Bismillah Khan a priceless Persian carpet and other souvenirs. Souvenirs means thing given in memory of a place, person, or event. You can see it is written in the gloss. The king of Afghanistan was not only the one to be fascinated with Mihla music. Film director Vijay Bhatt was so impressed after hearing Bismillah play at a festival that he named a film after the instrument called Gooj Uthi Shehnai. Afghanistan was fascinated by him, but his film director Vijay Bhatt, he was also so impressed that when he heard the Shehnai played by Bismillah Khan at a festival, that he named a film after the instrument, that he made a film after seeing that instrument. And what was the name of the film? Yes, Gooj Uthi Shehnai. Film was a hit and one of Bismillah Khan composition. Now that film was a hit. Okay, and one song, in fact people believe that he only composed one of the Bismillah Khan's compositions. He composed that song Dil Ka Khilona Hai Toot Gaya. So this song was composed by Bismillah Khan, turned out to be a nationwide chart buster. So it became very famous. Despite this huge success in the celluloid world, Bismillah Khan ventures in film music were limited to two: Vijay Khar's Gooj Uthi Shehnai and Vikram Srinivas' Kannada venture Sanadhi Appanna. Now these two were the film where he had played a big role. I just can't come to terms with the artificiality and glamour of the film world, he said with emphasis. He was getting a lot of offer from Bollywood, but he replied, I just can't come to terms with the artificiality and glamour of the film world. In fact, he disliked the glamour and artificial of the film world. He wanted to lead a simple life only in Varanasi.